Why reading is so important. Leo, a quiet young man, possessed grand dreams of global travel. However, the mere thought of speaking English filled him with profound anxiety. He often avoided social gatherings, fearing conversations would shift into unfamiliar linguistic territory. This quiet nature, combined with his English struggles, made him feel incredibly isolated. He yearned for genuine connection, a bridge to others. His current English learning methods felt stagnant, yielding minimal progress despite his dedicated efforts. Textbooks offered sterile grammar rules, but true conversational fluency remained elusive. He'd often stumble over basic phrases, feeling his face flush with embarrassment during any public interaction. The sheer complexity of English vocabulary also seemed an overwhelming mountain to climb. He believed native speakers possessed some innate, unreachable talent he lacked. This limiting belief compounded his difficulties, preventing him from truly immersing himself in the language. Every failed attempt reinforced his self-doubt, building a formidable wall around his potential. Leo was desperate for a revolutionary approach to break this frustrating cycle. One rainy afternoon, browsing a dusty old bookshop, he stumbled upon a worn copy of an adventure novel. The title, The Serpent's Whisper, intrigued him, promising exciting escapades. He hesitated, knowing it was in English, but something urged him to buy it. Perhaps a new path awaited him, an unconventional one. Back home, he opened the book, initially feeling overwhelmed by the unfamiliar words staring back. He began slowly, looking up every second word, a painstaking and arduous process. Yet, the story's compelling narrative pulled him forward, making the arduous task feel slightly less daunting with each turning page. Days turned into weeks, and Leo found himself deeply engrossed in the novel's captivating world. He noticed something remarkable happening. Words he previously looked up now felt familiar. Context clues began guiding his understanding, reducing his reliance on the dictionary. This was a revelation, a genuine breakthrough. Reading, he realized, was not just about understanding individual words. It was about absorbing patterns, sentence structures, and natural expressions. It was a holistic immersion, subtly building his internal English framework. His comprehension improved drastically, even for complex literary passages. This simple act held immense power. He voraciously consumed more books, moving from adventure novels to non-fiction, then to contemporary fiction. Each book expanded his vocabulary organically, embedding new words into his memory through repeated exposure in different contexts. His passive knowledge of English blossomed, becoming an active part of his mental landscape. Why reading is so important, he mused, was becoming abundantly clear. It built a strong foundation, not just of words, but of how those words naturally fit together. It improved grammar intuitively, without endless memorization drills. Reading opened vast worlds, making learning English an exciting, immersive journey. He understood that reading provided the raw material, the building blocks for fluent communication. Without this rich input, his output would always remain limited and uninspired. Reading was truly the bedrock of his English improvement. It was a silent teacher, always ready, always patient, always available. However, Leo soon discovered that reading alone wasn't enough to achieve conversational fluency. He could understand texts perfectly, but his spoken English still felt hesitant, clunky, and far from natural. He needed to activate his passive knowledge, to bridge the gap between comprehension and expression effectively. He recalled advice from an old language forum, Listen English. The idea seemed simple, yet he had rarely focused on it actively. He began exploring podcasts, initially choosing topics he already understood in his native language. This made the listening process less intimidating and more enjoyable for him. He started with short daily news podcasts, then moved to educational talks and eventually engaging storytelling podcasts. At first, much of it was a blur of rapid sounds. But he persisted, focusing on identifying keywords and overall meaning. Slowly, the spoken words began to coalesce into coherent thoughts. Listen English became his daily mantra. While commuting, cooking, or exercising, English audio filled his ears. He realized that listening attuned his brain to the rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation of native speakers. It taught him how words actually sounded when spoken quickly and naturally. He discovered the power of active listening, not just letting sounds wash over him, but actively trying to grasp every nuance. He sometimes replayed difficult sections multiple times, ensuring he caught the specific phrases. This focused effort significantly sharpened his auditory comprehension skills and confidence levels. The combination of extensive reading and consistent listening began to yield tangible results. He could follow complex conversations in movies without subtitles and even understand various accents. His vocabulary retention dramatically improved as he heard words he had previously only seen in print. The best way to learn English, Leo now realized, was a multifaceted approach. It wasn't about one magic bullet but combining effective strategies. Reading provided input, listening offered natural sounds, but something crucial was still missing. The final piece of the puzzle awaited discovery. He noticed that while he could understand, his own spoken responses still lacked spontaneity. He often froze, searching for the right words, even when he knew them. This frustrating delay hindered smooth conversation. He needed to bridge the gap from understanding to producing effortlessly and quickly. One evening, watching an interview, an idea sparked. The interviewer spoke fluently, confidently. Leo wondered how he could replicate that ease. He began to think about practicing speaking, even without a partner. But how exactly does one practice speaking alone effectively? Then, a novel thought occurred to him: how to talk at home to yourself. It sounded peculiar, perhaps a little silly, but the logic was sound. If he practiced speaking his thoughts aloud, he could bridge the gap between internal understanding and external articulation. It was worth a try. He started small, describing his day aloud while making breakfast. Today is Monday. I will have toast and coffee. He felt awkward initially, but persisted. This simple act forced his brain to retrieve words and construct sentences actively, without the pressure of an audience, which was liberating. He began narrating his actions. I am now pouring water into the kettle. The water is boiling. I will make tea. This continuous stream of self-talk, though seemingly trivial, built incredible momentum. He was transforming passive knowledge into active, usable language, one sentence at a time. He expanded this practice to expressing opinions on books he read or podcasts he listened to. I found this character very intriguing because, or, the speaker made a compelling argument about. This pushed him to formulate more complex thoughts and arguments in English spontaneously. How to talk at home to yourself became his secret weapon. He held imaginary conversations, preparing for potential scenarios. He would argue with himself, debate topics, or simply describe his surroundings. This consistent, low-stakes practice proved incredibly powerful for him. He found that by talking aloud, even to himself, he identified gaps in his vocabulary and grammar that reading or listening alone didn't reveal. He would then look up the missing words or review the relevant grammar rules, making his learning targeted and efficient. This self-talk practice became listen and practice in a unique way. He listened to his own voice, identified areas for improvement, and then practiced new phrases or sentence structures. It was a closed feedback loop, constantly refining his spoken English without external judgment or fear. The goal was not perfection, but consistent, active production. He focused on fluidity, even if mistakes occurred. The act of speaking, even haltingly, was more important than error-free silence. This approach alleviated much of his prior speaking anxiety. He started with describing objects around him. This is a wooden table. It has 4 legs. The surface is smooth and brown. Then, he moved to more complex descriptions, adding adjectives and adverbs, making his internal monologues richer and more descriptive. His very interesting story was unfolding right before his eyes. He was becoming his own teacher, his own conversational partner, pushing the boundaries of his comfort zone. The transformation from silent observer to active speaker felt profound and incredibly empowering. He practiced articulating full sentences, linking ideas logically. He noticed his intonation improving naturally, mimicking the patterns he absorbed from podcasts and audiobooks. His rhythm of speech became more fluid, less choppy, truly a joy to witness developing. The journey reinforced why you must read English. Reading provided the input, the knowledge base. Without it, his self-talk would be superficial, lacking depth and variety. Reading fueled his conversational practice, giving him topics and vocabulary to work with consistently. He would read an article, then immediately try to summarize it aloud, first to himself, then in his mind. This active processing of information solidified his understanding and trained his brain to recall and articulate facts quickly and efficiently in English. He started preparing mentally for various social interactions. How to talk with anyone, he pondered, often began with internal rehearsals. He would think of common questions, formulate possible answers, and practice them aloud in his private space, perfecting his delivery. He imagined meeting new people, introducing himself, and engaging in small talk. He'd practice phrases like, "Nice to meet you, what do you do?" or "I'm really enjoying this event, aren't you?" These mental run-throughs reduced his real-life anxiety dramatically. When faced with a difficult topic, he would research it, read extensively about it, then practice explaining it aloud to an imaginary listener. This systematic approach gave him confidence to discuss a wide range of subjects, preparing him for any unexpected conversation. He also learned to listen intently when others spoke, not just for comprehension, but for conversational cues. He observed how native speakers initiated and maintained discussions, picking up on their subtle strategies for engaging effectively. This made him a better conversationalist. Then came the real test. A social gathering. Leo felt the familiar pang of anxiety, but this time, it was different. He had prepared. He had practiced. He had armed himself with knowledge and a newfound ability to articulate his thoughts clearly and concisely. He approached a small group, took a deep breath, and initiated a conversation. "Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear you discussing the new art exhibit. Have you had a chance to visit it yet?" His voice was steady, his words flowed surprisingly smoothly and confidently. To his delight, the group responded warmly. He found himself contributing to the discussion, asking follow-up questions, and even sharing his own insights on the artwork. He wasn't just understanding, he was participating actively, a monumental shift for him. How to talk with anyone became less about innate talent and more about preparation, practice, and a genuine interest in connecting. His internal rehearsals had paid off immensely, making him feel at ease in social situations he once dreaded with intense fear. He discovered that people appreciate genuine effort and an attempt to communicate, even if not perfect. His initial self-consciousness faded, replaced by the joy of connecting with others through shared ideas. His confidence soared with each successful interaction. His fluency improved exponentially. Not just in grammar and vocabulary, but in the natural flow of conversation, the nuances of tone, and the ability to express complex emotions. How to improve your fluency became a direct result of his comprehensive efforts and persistence. He no longer translated in his head, thoughts emerged directly in English. This was the true hallmark of fluency, the seamless transition from thought to spoken word. His years of consistent input and practice finally materialized into effortless output for him. Leo's communication skills transformed him. He became more confident not just in English, but in all areas of his life. He found himself more articulate, more self-assured, and more capable of expressing his true self to anyone, anywhere in the world. He secured his dream job, which involved frequent international communication. His ability to speak fluently and connect with people from diverse backgrounds became his greatest asset. His journey was a testament to dedication and effective learning strategies, inspiring all. Looking back, Leo realized the pivotal role each step played. Reading built the foundation, listening provided the rhythm, and self-talk unlocked the ability to produce. The best way to learn English was truly a combination of these powerful, interlinked methods. His very interesting story served as a testament to anyone struggling with language. It wasn't about talent, but consistent, intelligent practice. Every single step, no matter how small, contributed to the monumental transformation he experienced. Listen and practice applied not just to audio, but to everything. Listen to yourself, practice new expressions, listen to feedback, practice again. This iterative process was the engine of his growth, ensuring continuous improvement and consistent progress. Why you must read English resonated deeply now. It fueled his thinking, enriched his vocabulary, and provided the context for effective communication. Reading was the intellectual nutrient that allowed his spoken English to flourish naturally and beautifully. How to talk at home to yourself demystified speaking. It showed him that practice didn't always require a partner. It could be a solitary yet incredibly effective journey. It removed the pressure, fostering a safe space for growth and experimentation daily. How to talk with anyone then became a natural extension, not a daunting challenge. The confidence gained in solitude translated directly to social settings, making interactions enjoyable and meaningful experiences rather than fearful encounters for him. How to improve your fluency wasn't about achieving perfection, but about continuous progress, consistent effort, and enjoying the journey. Fluency was a byproduct of passion and persistent, strategic learning. It was a marathon, not a sprint, truly rewarding. Leo's story is a powerful reminder that mastering English is an achievable goal for everyone. Embrace reading, immerse yourself in listening, and talk to yourself without hesitation. Your journey to fluency and confidence starts today, transforming your life. He now travels the world, speaking English effortlessly, connecting with people, and embracing diverse cultures. His once quiet voice now resonates with clarity and conviction, a testament to the transformative power of dedication and smart learning strategies implemented daily. His life became a living example of his own very interesting story. From a shy, hesitant speaker, he blossomed into a confident, articulate individual. The joy of expressing himself freely was an invaluable reward, making every effort worthwhile for him. He always encourages others, stressing the importance of starting small and being consistent. Every book read, every podcast listened to, every word spoken aloud contributed to his remarkable transformation. Language learning is indeed a marathon, not a sprint for anyone. Leo's journey proves that the best way to learn English involves holistic engagement, deep reading, active listening, and fearless self-practice. These pillars, when combined, unlock unparalleled fluency and confidence, truly opening a world of new possibilities for all learners. His message is clear: you too can achieve remarkable English proficiency. Start today, be consistent, and trust the process. The world awaits your confident voice, ready to share your unique perspectives and connect with countless others globally. Embrace the challenge. This incredible transformation from silence to eloquent speech showcases the profound impact of strategic language learning. Leo's success story resonates deeply, proving that anyone can master English and communicate confidently with the right approach and unwavering determination.